How's it going, everybody? I've got some comments to go through, and thank you, Christian, for sending me the YouTube video with the Seinfeld episode. I just want to make sure I get all of y'all's notifications here. AWTR said yes. He definitely says, "I'm certain they know who we are," and I mean, the level. I have a very suspicious mind and I pick up on stuff. I'm not the greatest in the world at picking up on stuff. That's not what I'm saying, but I have an ability to pick up on reads. And they're doing stuff on these TV shows that I watch that I can tell are things that I've said. And I think I just need to leave it at that. That's nothing I need to keep going over. Because you can never prove it. Every time I come across one, if it's something I think that y'all will match up with and like understand and go like, yeah, or at least give question to. Because see, we troll Trump. We troll Trump like I don't think anybody else trolls Trump. All the way up to trolling every move he makes, every breath he takes, we'll be watching him. And, we kind of are making a joke of the coming big event because we know it's going to be faked. And we don't know if the internet will be up when it takes place. Theology Ed really cracked. And it was, he gives credit to his subscribers, those down in the comments that gave him this look. But in I Pet Goat, Isis or Mary holding the child with the wound over the right eye, she has her arm up in the air with the palm up, and there's a volcano, so it's La Palma, and he's already dead. And so we showed that with Donnie Darko. When the right eye was taking place, they immediately cut to the ocean waves, and they were not big waves. They just cut to waves. They didn't show us a tidal wave or a tsunami, just waves. So let me bring that up real quick. It's right there. La Palma means the palm. The way he broke it down, I'm not going to get into it. He said there's a 9/11 in here. I was driving in my car, so that might be a 9. I don't know. I don't get into stuff like that too much where you see stuff. But that we can clearly see. The palm, La Palma, the volcano going off. He's dead. So I mean, it's just a matter of time. We've got to be pretty close. Got to be super close, in my opinion. And can't wait to go over your comments. I looked up Manly P. Hall and Albert Pike. Pike was born December 29th. Obviously, we're looking around those dates. There's my big date thing. There it is. Yeah. Huh. So December 2nd, I guess that's the first big one that we are waiting on. I guess I should give this some sort of background. But yeah. Get to that in just a second. But Albert Pike, and he died April 2nd. Manly P. Hall, March 18th. And died in August 29th. So it doesn't seem to be a lot of help with those two. Gematria on their names, maybe. Now, here's what I did do some gematria on. what's it called? Crowning day, crowning moment, crowning event. And we'll go over that last. Let's hit through your comments. So I've got some rich comments down here. So Charles Schultz said, I was just watching a video about the Gothard Tunnel opening June 1st, 2016 to December 4th, 2021, and equals 2012 days, which is big. That's got event 201 in it, but 212 was the Mayan calendar or the end of the world type moments. So, and don't forget that SEC championship game between Alabama and Georgia. The red and black G meets the Antichrist. I mean, and I feel like the national championship game can't be any better than Satan mixing with Our Lady, or anytime Alabama has played Notre Dame, and they played for the national championship. Alabama and Notre Dame played for the national championship. Wikipedia. 2013 BCS game. So in 2013 they did. Then it was 42-14, which if you take one off of each, you get my victory number of 41-13. Remember that one? And I wore 42. I love it. But, you know, I don't think that has anything to do with anything. I just see stuff like that. That's my own brain. That's my sense of self that you never lose. And it's because we're not sinless. There's Notre Dame Fighting Irish football. There's 2012 playoff. Alabama matched up with number 4 Notre Dame in that game. And let me pause for a second. Now that was Alabama playing Notre Dame 31-14. Y'all know I love that 31 days through the portal landing on, because the portal date is the 10th. 31 days lands on the 10th in both directions of December 10th and February 10th. I just think that that's just outstanding. But the final score was 52-24. And that was Alabama over the Buckeye, or the Antichrist being shot, or the deadly wound, I should say. Satan played the deadly wound. It's basically how you look at that. And so anyway, list of Alabama Crimson Tide bowl games. Let me pause for a second. The first time those jokers possibly played, it was in 1973 in a bowl game. Now, they might have played in the regular season before that, but they didn't play each other in a bowl game before that, which I would think would be when they would play each other. And it was in 1973. It was December 31st. So it was New Year's Eve was the first time. And exactly 1 year and 1 day later, they played on New Year's Day. So they played in the Sugar Bowl, and then they played in the Orange Bowl. So it really centered around New Year's, back again in 75. And see, back then, all the big bowl games were on New Year's Day. So back in 1974 or 75, again, Notre Dame. Then Alabama played Notre Dame again. You know, I thought they played around the time I was in high school. I guess not. And then never again. Whoops. Right. Okay. and then in 2013. And then it was on January 7th. And January 7th comes up today with crowning day, crowning moment. I think it was crowning moment. I'm not sure. I want to go get that in a second. My phone's charging, so I have it on airplane mode. Don't ever fool with your cell phone when it's plugged in. If you plug it in, put it in airplane mode, because the EMFs that come off of it are insane. If you can turn it off, just turn it off. I mean, not if you, obviously, you can turn it off. But so we do have a January 7th pop up, and we're going to get into that in a little bit. Let's continue with your comments, please. And he said the result, the 2012 days, 5 years, 6 months, 3 days, or 66 months, 3 days. And so, well, what's 66 months and 6 days? That would be December 7th. I mean, if you're going to go 66 months, you might as well, in 3 days, you might as well go all out and do 66 months, 6 days. And that's the Pearl Harbor date. Now, we've already laid out so much stuff that we've forgotten so much of really good stuff that y'all have shared. And I thought about it driving home from Whole Foods. I am worn out. I don't know if you can tell, I've got brain fog. I don't want to do caffeine, but I did want to do a video. And so my apologies, but there was something I thought about on the way home, and I was like, that was really a good thing, like, that Michael said or something. And we need to revisit that, reasons why we chose dates or looked at dates, the reasons why. And I just think that that's a, just like we revisited the 15th, which, by the way, January 15 or 15th does come up, I think, in crowning moment gematria search. And that's big. And we revisited that yesterday, but just dates that Michael's come up with, or Charles, or Charlie Brown, or Charles Schultz, or Mason. I forget Mason's first name. Is he down here somewhere? Or AWTR. But let's keep going. If you do the tunnel date opening to December 12th, you get 2020 days, which is awesome. Or how about 2021 days, because it's the year 2021. So very interesting to look at all of that. So it all pops around December 12th. Right? Yeah. And I think December 12th is 2021 days. And I love that you bring up the Gothard Tunnel date. That's something to definitely study and look at. I mean, wonder how many days it is to that solar eclipse on Hitler's birthday. But anyway, 11 days. So yeah, good stuff, man. Just love what you're bringing to the table there. And AWTR said, yeah, we get trolled. Trump did something on his birthday. I'm certain they know who we are. Well, that's pretty cool. I was away. Got to catch up with your videos, brother. This is Kingway Maker. I thought the real Elvis got saved and died. This is what his brother-in-law said. People that get saved with words, you have to bear fruit. And I do tremendous studies on that. I've got another channel called TS Daily Bible Studies, and I really went in depth with my, it's 20 minutes. Most of them are 10 to 12, 11. 6, 8, 5. That was a 20-minute one because I went over the 2 deep studies that I did on my Facebook, where we went over faith. And I actually revisited it again today with another post. And you know how they profess to know, you know, like Elvis could have professed to have known God. They profess that they know God, but in their works deny him, being abominable and disobedient unto every good work reprobate. People draw nigh unto me with their mouth and honor me with their lips, but their hearts are far from me. Faith without works is dead. Because faith is actually, when you look at the definition of faith, it is actually works. Faith is the action. It says faith is the substance, which is something tangible. When you start looking up in the Greek, it's these things that faith is the tangible of things that you hope for, which is your salvation. So faith is the tangible acts of your salvation and the evidence of the Holy Spirit, or it says the evidence of things not seen. And then I show the Bible verse where it talks about the wind bloweth where it listeth, and hearest the sound thereof, but cannot tell whence it cometh and whither it goeth. So is everyone that is born of the Spirit. You cannot see the Holy Spirit, so you have to bounce Hebrews 11:1 off of John 3:8. Those bounce off each other perfectly. And that's what the Bible does. The Bible bounces all over the place and corroborates itself and testifies to itself. And that's how we rewrite John 3:16. And you say, well, you can't rewrite the Bible. That's blasphemous. It's blasphemous to to change the original Greek in Hebrew scriptures. Everything that you're picking up and reading has been translated by man. And John 3:16 was simply a false translation by the Catholic Erasmus. I'm not going to get into that now. I'm sorry. Anyway, enough of Elvis. He that answereth, Proverbs 18:13, he that answereth a matter before he heareth it, it is folly and shame unto him. Charlie Brown. Charlie Brown, he's a clown. Like Charlie Brown. You got a song named after you, Charlie. I'm going to give you a thumbs up on that, Charlie, because you gave a Bible verse. And who can't give a thumbs up to a Bible verse? And Michael said 5 hours ago, and see, he said something else over here. Okay. That wasn't Michael. All right, let's go. I was called upon waking up this morning to research U2's album called Songs of Innocence. They have tracks called Volcano, Every Breaking Wave, Lucifer's Hands, and more on this album. So let's continue to read this, but I don't want to forget The Hand of God. Now,
The Hand of God is a 2021 movie directed by Paolo Sorrentino, starring Filippo Scotti, Luisa Ranieri, and Tony Servillo.
And the trailer opens, Theology Ed was because I like following Theology Ed. He's, you know, I don't know if he's controlled op or not. I feel like he is, but you know, I shouldn't really say. And so Songbird or what? Canary Island, Canary in a Coal Mine. Theology Ed was thinking Italy.
Correre! Non ti preoccupare, va! Voglio il shot. eternamente.
Ooh, that was big. Because that's the all-seeing eye at the top of the pyramid. And that's their stairway to heaven, or they're climbing through the degrees. So you've got the pyramid with the all-seeing eye at the top, or Lucifer is light at the top of the pyramid, and so forth. So that was pretty crazy. I mean, that's their world. Their world is lined with nothing but that kind of stuff. My family's Italian. There's number 87. Hey, my second wife's original marriage number. Thank you very much. And as you sit there, it's at 52 seconds, which was my marriage number, my second marriage number to her. Her second to me was the 88 because it progressed. So there's a volcano going off in this thing, right? What's up?
La realtà.
So it hits at 53, at the 53-second mark, I guess.
Non ci riesco.
Yeah, right from 52 to 53, which I've always thought, well, my third marriage is to Christ. I'm the bride. So, and that 153 fish, 1-5 is 15. That's my third progression. 5, 10, 15. Or 53 is also my third progression. 51, 52, 53. And so, do I still think I'm saved? I always question my salvation. And true sheep always will. That keeps you in a repentant state. If I knew for sure I was saved, I can go out and pretty much do whatever I want, right? So that's part of repenting. We're in hope of salvation. And yes, I know there's Bible verses that say, you know, to make your election sure, or to know, or don't take those things out of context. The Bible is written extremely cryptically. That's why it talks about whatever you ask, Lord will provide. Well, try that sometime. Because people read that Bible verse about whatever you ask, I will give unto you. Like he's the magic genie. That's not what the Bible verse is saying, even though the words say that. So yeah, just ask, just start asking God for everything. Okay. Just, and when you don't get it, go, well, it says right there. So not everything that exactly the way that it says in a King James Version Bible. His word is understood in the spirit, and it's understood as one comprehensive piece of work. But there's your volcano. And then he says, I don't like reality anymore. So we know when Trump goes down. We've been saying all along here at our little church, we've been saying here that the crowning event is the rider on the white horse receiving his deadly wound. He gets crowned because Jesus received his crown upon his death, per, I think it's Hebrews 2:9. And that once the rider on the white horse has a crown given to him. And by the way, one thing that popped up was Mercury and Sagittarius. Got it. Where the planets are in astrology, astrodent. It's astrodentist. Give me where that Mercury's at. For crowning day, I think it said Mercury in Sagittarius. It just began. You got about 3 weeks of a window of when Trump's going to go down. I'm serious. Which means you really got to start looking. Today, Mercury went into Sagittarius. It's zeroed out, which means it just went in there. That's insane, isn't it? So in about, it moves a little faster than the sun. In about 4 or 5 days, they'll be lined up. which could be the bow. Sun, Mercury conjunct December 2021. You know, I'm always gonna Sun, Mercury conjunct. I don't know. Let me pause for a second. Well, excluding the sun, I've got a list. So on December 11th, we've got Pluto, Venus. December 17th, Mars and something I've never heard of. December 27th, Mars and something I've never heard of. December 28th, Venus and Mercury. December 30th, Pluto and Mercury. And right now, nothing much. So anyway, and I wanted to see the sun. There's a 614 for you. Hang on just a second. Let me go through this guy real fast.
Hello.
All right, he said it was November 28th, which it looked like. I told you Mercury moves a little faster than the sun. So today's the 24th. So it literally will take 4 days and it will be caught up with it. So I wonder if anything will go down on the 28th. That is on a Sunday. And something to take note of. What's Mars in right now? Mars is in Scorpio. Venus is in Capricorn. Yeah. Anyway, I was going to look up Michael's album, and it's called U2 Songs of Innocence, Wikipedia. September 9th or 9/9 or 7/9. It's 4811 in length. Its label is Interscope Island. Producer Danger Mouse. Studio Electric Lady. Well, we know who that is. Lucy. The Miracle, Every Breaking Wave, Song for Someone. And if we were to get the discography, Every Breaking Wave, you got California, Song to Someone, The Miracle, Iris, Volcano, Raised by Wolves. That wolf full moon. That might have been what it was. There's something about the wolf. Oh, I was watching something. What was it? This something wolf. Oh, I can't remember what it was. Anyway, Raised by Wolves. So obviously, if something goes down, the Trump event takes place and La Palma goes down before the wolf full moon. By the time we get to the wolf full moon, people will be acting like they've been raised by wolves for sure. Cedarwood Road, Sleep Like a Baby Tonight. This is where you can reach me now. The Troubles. Trouble Man was something I was listening to, and looked like there were sevens. Trouble Man album. Y'all remember that glass that breaks Trump up into 7 pieces? One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7. Which is a little different. So he's 007, he's Trump. And that's who the trouble man is. He's trouble man. Trump is. So very interesting. Trump's mirror had 7 slits and he was the 8th. Now that's because that actually was Trump in the mirror broken up, and he's the 8th is of the 7. It's the twin, the twin Trumps, the whole 9 yards there. So let's keep going. Now that we have some background, we can buzz through what Michael said and kind of understand it. They have tracks called Volcano, Every Breaking Wave, Lucifer's Hand, and more on this album. Island was the record label. The logo for the island is a palm tree. That's interesting. Island was founded on July 4th, 1959. That date comes up, by the way, July 4th comes up on, what's it called? Crowning Day or crowning moment, one of them. Trump was 13 at the time of the island's founding, and this album was U2's 13th studio album, according to U2. I think the Ghost in the Machine does all this. According to U2 and Apple, and Apple, this album automatically downloaded to every Apple device. Okay, according to U2 and Apple, this album automatically downloaded to every Apple device. It was made available to 119 countries, yay, which is 9/11. But see, the 119 is Donald also. We can't forget that, right? And 500 million people, and 500 is the name for Anti-G 500. Thank you, Jamie. Is Strong's concordance number for Antichrist. After Apple exclusivity deal for this album expired, they sold it for $9.99 on iTunes, which is 666 upside down. Tim Cook and Bono had a 9/9/2014 event announcing the Songs of Innocence album. Every Breaking Wave was released on 12/9. Well, that's amazing. That puts us right at Trump going down on the 2nd, rising on the solar eclipse date, or going down on the 3rd, rising on the 4th, or going down on the 4th. Right? 2nd, 3rd, 4th. Boom, swag, right? And, or, yeah. And then by the 9th, La Palma hits. And then by the 12th, that's when, that website told us that's when it first began. And so by the 12th, the whole earth would be under December 12th, 2019, a cluster of patients in that city over there that Trump called China, in the certain province over there, began to experience shortness of breath and fever. So if it's all going down in early December, which, y'all, is super soon. I mean, good grief, that's so soon. You know what I'm saying? I mean, the gravity of it, when you think about it, it really starts to get a hold of you a little bit. You know what I mean? No, I had to click that. It's that 7154 popped up. That's God in simple gematria. So now it's at 56, but it was at 46. You know, I like that 7154. And by the 31st, boom, it had really taken off. Then you got a new moon in January. Then you got the January 7th, and you got the 15th, which is MLK's birthday. January 15th, I think that's what I said. And then they got the January 17th date, and that's the wolf full moon, and that it said there CDC. So you have to kind of transform these dates from illness to military action. Remember, we said early on, before most of y'all probably even came to me, that what all of that was, I called it a ritual event for the Antichrist receiving his crown. And because at the time I thought he had received his crown when the whole earth handed a crown to him when they went on lockdown. Wrong. And then I said, oh, he's received his crown. He said he has it on October 2nd. Wrong. And then I realized a few months ago when I was doing my Hebrews Bible study on my Bible study channel that the crowning is actually his death. So I was correct in saying this illness was the crowning ritual for his upcoming death. I was just incorrect on what the actual crowning is. The crowning is the fake death. The crown is given to him. He didn't earn it like Jesus did. So the 17th pops right up. It says CDC begins screening. You know, you got Japanese thing going on here. You got Thailand going on here. And you just wonder. Now, I don't think we'll have much television or news or electricity, but we might still have it all then if you've got internet, which I really don't think. I'll tell you what we won't have. They'll pull Facebook. They'll pull Instagram. By the way, if they don't pull Instagram, I'm on Instagram. So come find me there. Create an Instagram site. Okay. What am I under Instagram? Oh, I'm just Trey.Stokes. That's me, I guess. Okay. All right. So I'm Trey.Stokes. If Instagram's up, but YouTube goes down, because I don't think Facebook will be up. Obviously, come find me on Facebook. And I know some of y'all don't want to create those accounts. Y'all, the AI, they're not going to mess with us unless they mess with you on the local level. And I got enough people locally who know what I do to where I'm pretty uncomfortable. Jason said, well, they're all going to come get us all at once. I don't think so. They need to kill sheep. You know, when it's kill sheep time, that's at the abomination of desolation time. It's going to be kind of every man for himself during World War III. If they would come personally get me, I think, because of a lot that I've put on my Facebook. But if you just create a Facebook account and think that they're going to track you, no, just throw up a picture of yourself. It could be a football. You can make anything your profile picture. At least we'll be able to communicate. I'd be able to make audios. I make audios with people all the time in Messenger. In Messenger, you just click a button and send somebody an audio message. And you can hear their voice. They hear your voice. And you can make long distance phone calls through Facebook. I've talked to people. I used to talk to Carl over there in England. You know, I've talked to people in other countries. I talked to Suzanne over in Spain. And Suzanne does not believe in the Bible. She's not like Jesus, the whole everything, but she slowly is understanding who Trump is and that this is a biblical situation that's going on. And I'm wondering if the Lord's going to call her at some point. But she moved from here over to Barcelona, Spain. So, but YouTube might boom, go right down. Facebook might boom, go right down. Instagram, boom, might go right down. They might all go down all at once, or all we have is internet. So if all we have is internet, find that cdc.gov, and while you're watching your fake news and you get the narrative, go to this site and see, you know, here's the word deploys. The CDC deploys a team to Washington State to assist, you know, I mean, just go and see what happens. Go see what's deployed on January 17th. You know what I mean? And by March, we pretty much know what'll be going down by March, don't we? Yeah. March 13th, President Donald J. Trump declares a nationwide emergency. By March 11th, they declared it, you know, the Pan, Peter Pan, or the god Pan. That's all you need to know. The god Pan is basically Satan. Tim Cook and Bono had an event on a 19 songs of the Innocence album. Every Breaking Away was released on 12/9. U2 also released a companion film to Songs of Innocence on 12/8. 2014, called Films of Innocence. You need to check out the trailer for Films of Innocence. There is clear volcanic eruption imagery. Wow. Well, once again, thank you, Michael. Films of Innocence. Okay. This will get me copyrighted, strike-it very quickly. So we're going to knock out some sound and we're going to do some stills. It's only 42 seconds. So there's an explosion. Okay. Love it. And also, to help us not copyright it, we're going to play it at 2.0 speed. Commentary fair use. That's the Tenet. If y'all watch the movie Tenet, that's what goes on in the movie Tenet. So that really points to Janice Tenet with what you're seeing there. And there's 10. There's a 1 and a 10. I mean, theoretically, you could say that's January 10th, where the red line is, because the red line is on the 10th. To the left of it is a 1 for January, and to the right of it is a 10. So theoretically, they could be pointing to Janice Tenet or January 10th. So with the fair use commentary, fair use. Oh, there's your wolf full moon right there. Aren't they something? Now, those are not wolves, but I think that's wolf symbology. I mean, I don't think those are wolves. A wolf, the animal. And that's what the guy was called in that movie. He was called the Wolf, and he did the cleanup work. Could those have been wolves? Maybe. Steppenwolf, that's what it was. Steppenwolf. Think about the band Steppenwolf. Steppenwolf, Wikipedia. And, you know, I was a big fan, you know, That was really the first albums that I bought with Steppenwolf. And then it was Grand Funk Railroad and that kind of stuff. But that was it. I was listening on my 8-track, on my uncle's 8-track and his Dodge Polara to Creedence, CCR, Steppenwolf. And then I got into my uncle's albums. I mean, man, you're talking, I was barely 9 or 10 years old. So I was Catholic. And I had yet to be introduced to astrology through the Catholic Church, but I was already Catholic and living the life. And you can just go back and look at your childhood and see what you took to. And so, but you know, Magic Carpet Ride, I wonder, there's Born to Be Wild and Magic Carpet Ride. I guess Rock Me is the third, and there's not much to that. So it was released in June. Everybody's Next One. Magic Carpet Ride was in December. Okay. Anyway. I just thought of them today because of the wolf full moon, which is a big deal. It's a big deal. Grand Canal Docks. Guess that's the Phoenix, or that's Trump going through the archway. He's getting his rebirth. Now that was shown after the wolf or the wolves. That's the lion. Okay. Well, it definitely gave us that tenet. That really seemed to point to, all of that seemed to point to January 10th through January 17th. I mean, if we're looking, if we're using that to look for dates, what do you think, Michael? I mean, but that, you know, I look at all these dates and yeah, it's all about December. So once again, a little ambiguity. I can see things in two different directions. But again, that was released on 12/8. So that could be what the archway was about, with the lion and the phoenix going through the archway. And I shouldn't let the wolves throw me off. I think the wolves, oh, the Janus Tennant explosion. Well, oh, maybe we have to go back to our transfer portal. You know what I'm saying? And look through all of that, because if you look at what takes you through to the 8th, it's 33 days, their big number, which 33 days through the portal is a little too perfect, isn't it? God, come, we never really looked at that. That's slightly convenient, and that's right on the eve. So the 8th, Michael, that you're pointing out, the 8th that you're pointing out portals over to the eve of Lupercalia Eve, the eve of the 3-day festival, or New York City area code of 212, February 12th. So it sure gets very interesting. So then you have to portal back, and that's on a Wednesday. Okay. Just like the 1st is on a Wednesday, that's 40. And 40 is a big number for our Lord. They might be forced to use that 40, which would put him down on 121, December 1st, which is 40 days through the portal. I think that portal's over to February 19th, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, indeed. And that's December 1st on a Wednesday from the Addams family. And then if he rose on the third day, theoretically, on the solar eclipse, spiritually, in a world we're not going to be privy to, but World War III would be, or the volcano, like all the things would start to take place. I can't even imagine what his funeral would be like. I mean, just a chaos. And that's their main word, and that's what they love. Now, Charlie stayed, but Michael's disappeared when I refreshed it. It was interesting. Maybe if I give it a love, like I pop the heart, which we're not supposed to really have anything to do with a heart, but whatever, that's symbolism. But anyway, yeah, Alabama, Notre Dame, if it all continues to still somehow work through the process of Trump going down, that they still have college football and there's just rioting, and but the news is on, but your YouTube is down, your face, they pull. And why would they pull all that stuff? They would claim that it's causing chaos, that people are using social media to link up, to riot, to create events where they could riot. So they would claim that they're shutting social media down because they don't want us social, that the social is bad for the country. They want us watching their state-run news, left or right, to divide. And in my opinion, Notre Dame would be the national champion this year, which would be this gigantic surprise. They would come from nowhere. And I'm like, ain't coming from nowhere with me. Notre Dame stands for Our Lady. And this is all about Lucifer. And I think Our Lady would play Satan. In other words, it's the male Satan playing Lucifer, the female transgendered version. So that's what links up when Notre Dame plays Alabama. It's the Baphomet, basically, in a football sense. The Buckeye is standing for the deadly wound. The satanic colors red and black with the big G on the helmet. Enough said there. And and Clemson was the orange last year. In the last bunch of years, the orange comes to 33 in gematria, or one of the gematrias. So anyway, I think we're done here. Oh, we're not done. Hang on and let me pause. We're going to do the gematrias. The movie, he goes, it's crowning day. It's crowning day. And I looked up it's crowning day, but I should have just looked up crowning day because it is just pointing to crowning day. So we do get the 153 fish. We get their 13 and their 33 combined. That's kind of big. So let's go through it. And Knoxville, Tennessee popped up. I remember that one. I was driving in my car looking at all this stuff, which I really shouldn't have been doing while you're driving. Little horn comes up. And yeah, one world ruler. This one really didn't give us dates, if I remember. It was crowning moment that started popping off a lot of dates. I mean, don't get me wrong, it gives you dates, but nothing in our time frame that we're looking for. The third and fourth click, it did start giving dates, but more like in the summertime and stuff. Then there's Kobe Bryant. There's 113. That it could be January 13th, which is extremely plausible. Very. Once you get into the Donnie Darko month, I mean, I know I'm going to have to go back in New York. Will he be in New York when he goes down? I don't think he has any plans that we know of to be in New York, but that's something to keep a look at. Something for Michael to remember at least. November 10 is come and gone. July 7. So the dates are starting to pop up that I was talking about, which gives us nothing. Not with this one, it didn't. But crowning moment did. Crowning moment threw at me January 7th and January 15th, which is MLK's birthday. Here's July 9th. Enoch, you, Lay, Shun popped up. The fifth wave. So this is the fifth page now. JFK Jr. is coming, which I think that's Trump when he returns from the dead. They're equating it to JFK Jr. And I think that that's what it all means in some type of gematria type world, that JFK Jr. represents the fact that Trump will not actually be dead. And theoretically, I think JFK Jr. died in the ocean or beast out of the sea, as I think his plane crashed right along the Cape, going from New York to Massachusetts, I think. And I think it was salt water that he dove into. But so this is crowning moment. And I've yet to look up crowning event, because that's from their term false flag event. And you would put crowning with it. I know what I wanted to show y'all. The Pope Earth Day. Who was that? In Earth message, Pope warns planet is at its brink. What was this? This was Daylight Riders. Daylight Riders? Or was it Babylon Watch? Babylon Watch. He did a really good, and he coins the phrase, let God be true and every man a liar, which is a Bible verse he uses. And I try to use that a lot. And he had a very good video. He wasn't sure if Mystery Babylon was the spirit of Lucifer and vice versa. And I was just talking to the TV. Yes, it is. You're the one that taught us that. Just go with it, man. He's very careful about what he says. And he doesn't want to make any mistakes. It's okay. Make mistakes. Throw it all out there. But here it is right here. Dear Earth, the Pope did a video.
Mother Mary, whatever. You see her back there.
And so I'm going to pop the speed up here. Commentary fair use.
Scarlet woman behind the scene. But You had more of his earth worshiping
It was called, what was the name of the YouTube channel?
sort of propaganda being pushed.
Was it United Nations YouTube channel? The Pope, Dear Earth, United Nations, YouTube. Yeah, oh, it was YouTube Originals. He told us that earlier. So this is from YouTube Originals. So YouTube is promoting the Pope. They're promoting a religion. But see, it's okay to promote that religion because he encompasses all religions. He's good with Hinduism, Buddhism. He said it was all the same God. I think that was back in 2017. If you're Catholic and you're watching this and you're like, no, you're not. No, you're no. Pope Francis, one world religion. There it is. So when you go through it, you got the priest, you've got the Jew. This should lead to dialogue among religions. And then, of course, the divine feminine uses that word collaboration. That's what it's all about, community and collaboration. And they use that word collaboration about, you know, those that think differently. So it's okay. Then you've got your, where she says, I have confidence in Buddha. He says, I believe in God. So he is the Jew. And there he's representing the Christian, which you just got to laugh at that. And seeking God or meeting God in a different way. And woo, doggy. I mean, so, and there's Islam, which they're the same religion. They both have the prayer beads. They both have the very Gothic music. There is only one certainty we have for all. Then he's got the tenant. He's doing the hand signal that we showed y'all a while back. And there they all are. Okay.
Creo en el amor.
So love, love, love. Oh, I believe in love. Bam, bam, bam. That's all the Beatles were about. Who wrote those Beatles songs? Oh, the Ghost in the Machine wrote. Lucifer wrote those Beatles songs. What do you think Barry Manilow was saying when he says, I am music and I write the songs? Who do you think the great I am music is? Well, of course. I write the songs that make the whole world sing. I write the songs of love and everything, or something like that. I write the songs that make the young girls cry. I write the songs. I write the songs. All right, so let's go down this one here. This is crowning moment. We didn't really get into, but Pope Francis talks about climate change and he says, Dear Earth. Well, of course, that's Mother Earth. So he's showing you that he's all about the goddess. Well, of course, they have the obelisk facing the dome at the Vatican, like they got the obelisk facing the dome in Washington, D.C. They're both city states. One's religion, one's military. The other's big city state, what I think is referred to as the trilateral. I think, if I'm not using that out of context, is the city of London that sits in a little tiny city that sits inside of London, England. It's got the bullet. And that is also a city state, and that's your finance. City of London. And I think most of the Olympics ran through the city of London. But you know, it's got that bullet. That's got to represent what happens to the Antichrist getting the deadly wound in his right eye, doesn't it? It's a very modern-esque city. It sits inside of London, England. You cannot, the Queen needs permission to go visit because it's its own city-state. Just like the Vatican. Look at all the pyramids. Right upside there. This world's crazy, isn't it? We live in this world. And nobody knows, nobody cares. Everybody's oblivious. There's the bullet. Building that looks like a bullet, City of London. Watch it have opened on December 1st. Okay, it's called 30 St. Mary Acts. Wikipedia. Well, I bet we want a gematria that one. Okay, give us something. Nope, April 28th. Not buying it. 41 floors. Dang it. Man, I was hoping we get that December 1st, Michael. Or December 2nd. It's 180 meters. There's your 60 meters plus 60 meters plus 60 meters, or your 6 plus 6 plus 6. Fascinating. You think that'll make our thumbnail? Do we want that to be our thumbnail? Y'all tell me. Tell me right now. Man, I got to make a decision. Okay. Boom. So let it be written. I'm telling you, I'll listen to y'all. When y'all speak, I'm listening. So there's September 6th, there's April 13th, there's your January 7th. So crowning moment does come to January 7th. Is that on our special list? No. So it's on a Friday, which is super plausible because it portals through, or it portals over we just put it here for safekeeping. January 7th. I don't want to forget it. Now, January 15th is going to pop up too. And that is on our list. But the 7th, easily, it's on a Friday, you know. It's 10 days before the wolf. It portals over to the 13th, which, you know, 7, 13. God, does it get any better than that? Their number 13 with God's number for cleansing the earth. There's 4th of July. Oh, 4 does not apply. Can't put that in gematria like that. August 12th pops up. Really what I want to show you is that January 15th. If I've scrolled through it, I'll show you numerically. I can just do that now. Is it January 15th or 15th? think it's 15th. 1098, 183. 1098, 183. 1098, 183. Crowning moment. 1098, 183. January 15th. 1098, 183. So it definitely hits January 15th. And that is Martin Luther King's birthday. So apparently I scrolled through it, which is okay. We pulled it up. Let's go through crowning event. I have not even looked at this yet. There's January 16th. Well, I'll be. That's the day before the wolf full moon. God, you got to take that one seriously. That's on a Sunday. The next day is the wolf full moon. Got to take it seriously. I want me to look. And so we know it's a false flag event and it's his crowning day. So you put them together, you get crowning event. I felt we should search all three. And there's October 11th, December 19th, y'all. Okay. That's a day after cellar door. Okay. Very interesting. Which also December 19th also comes up with, oh no, it's not spelled right. Too many O's. And Cleveland Browns, July 18th. And Trump has COVID. So anyway, y'all can go slower, look through them. But we definitely got some dates out of all that, which was, interesting. Early afternoon. That one says crowning event is early afternoon, potentially. Because somebody searched that 439 times. Why would you do that? See, to me, the AI does that. So that's something interesting. All right, love y'all very much. Keep them coming.